Okay, so first we're going to show you how we set up our scanner. We have used color-coded dots to help eliminate any confusion, and you're going to scan your barcode that you create. You're going to scan the password, QR code, and because I've already had a shift open today, we're going to resume the shift, but normally it will allow you to open a shift. And at this point, the customer is going to walk up, and this is what they're going to see is the self-checkout sign, and they can begin scanning their items immediately. A lot of commissaries have self-checkout. Part of the confusion we have noticed from the very beginning was that customers were scanning their ID, and that will prompt for an override code. So be sure and tell your customers they don't have to scan their ID with us. Now, we are currently running Military Star debit or credit only because we do not have the change enabled here at our self-checkout units. So I'll show you how we run through the process of scanning items. Some things to be cognizant of, let me move that out of the way, is the short barcodes. So the short barcodes sometimes do not scan on the table scanner. We have submitted RSC tickets to correct the ones that we've located, and so this one does work. Just be aware. This item is something that you would want to be aware of because it does have DXM in it, and it requires an age override. This is going to prompt you if the customer is 18 years of age or older. If you've already checked their ID before they get to the register, then you will know the answer to that question. We are going to say yes. Be aware this is something the customer can override on their own, so it's important that your teammates are diligent and your ambassadors are keeping an eye out. This is an alcoholic beverage product, which in this location will require a ration card. Before the customer arrives to the register, they would have already given us their ration card for items that we have seen in their basket that would require that. Now, when this prompts for an override for the age, your light at the top will turn red, and that will signify the attendant that they need to come and scan their override ID. You will do this with the handheld scanner. And then the password. It will ask you if you verified their age. You're going to hit select. There are a few items that will require that process twice, but we are sending RSC tickets as recommended for all to do when you run across items that do not scan. Some wines will prompt as well, even after you have scanned the alcohol liquor item. Wine does not require a ration card here in Germany. We will verify the age again. And so now we are good to go with that one. We are going to scan an item with a coupon. So for the Peelies, you can use these at self-checkout. A manufacturer's coupon will require an override, and you will not want to have customers come through with a lot of those because you won't be able to do them with a discount. So you're going to need an override code. When you get a coupon, at that point you take the coupon from the customer, and again, the exchange Peelies are okay to use. So these are more than fine. You can use those at self-checkout. Sometimes our local buys will have UPCs that are longer than average or longer than normal, and they will create an override opportunity as well. So make sure that your receivers are receiving those with the correct UPC number. As you can see, there's a soft tag here on this item. This is an age-restricted item. They do not have the EAS demagnetizers built into the registers yet. They are coming, which is great news that Store Ops shared with us. So you'll need to make sure you have an attendant present with a wand. Now let me show you how to do multiples, because sometimes we'll have customers who will buy a lot of one thing, especially during the holidays. They'll buy a lot of candy to stuff stockings. So this is when you're going to instruct the customer to use the handheld scanner. The handheld scanner does not have to be used for scanning single items, but for this one it would. So you are going to select barcode quantity, the keyboard, you're going to hit 2 and the star, and then you're going to scan that barcode, and it is going to populate that you have now got 2 of these caramel M&Ms. So when the customer is ready to pay, they have several different options. Of course, they can choose Military Star Card. The donation indication will pop up on the screen. Same with debit, gift cards. Military Star temporary card, they will actually have to key in their full number, and then their Military Star rewards card will allow them to scan with the handheld scanner. Now, if a customer gets through and realizes, oh, I did not mean to buy a certain item, or perhaps they scanned something twice, you simply highlight the item and remove it. It then takes it off completely. If they did buy one and not two, then you'll want to scan that item again. If the customer gets through their transaction and realizes that they have made some other sort of mistake, or perhaps they have manufacturer's coupons in high quantities, you can suspend the transaction. That suspension will print about knee high, and that's going to come out the same place the receipt would come out, and you can take them to a manned register and complete their transaction. Now, if you have a customer with a manufacturer's coupon, let's say they have a Necker coupon on this item here for $1 off. You're going to need to note the amount, because you're going to have to do a price override and have to put in the new amount calculated without the coupon. So operator ID is required. Again, that's your attendant ID. So we're going to say a price discrepancy, and the item was $26.90, but the customer has a $2 coupon, so we're going to take off $2, making it $24.90, and there we go. So it does remove that $2 from there. Now, next thing is going to be the transaction void. Let's say a customer gets through and their payment declines. If their payment declines, it will turn your light red, and then you will spit out a receipt. This is where the attendant has to be very careful and aware of the situation, because it will spit out a receipt, and if it's a very busy time, the customer will grab that receipt, put it in their bag, and carry on about their merry way, with the assumption that that is their completion receipt. So if they've entered the wrong PIN number, or their card payment has been declined for whatever reason, it will indicate with a red light, but you'll need to go back and check that. So if they do not have their ration card, for example, or maybe they don't have enough funds on their card for whatever reason, it does not go through and you need to void the transaction, you're going to hit transaction void. Again, that's going to prompt for the operator ID. You're going to scan that. It's going to ask if you want to void the transaction. You're going to say yes. In a normal situation, a customer, maybe they forgot their money, there was a price issue for whatever reason. For today's, we're going to do a test scan. So that way, if we have issues, IT likes us to put in, something that makes sense, so that they can track those errors, so that they can fix things as quickly as possible. So if the register crashes or you have a failure with your operating system, you're going to want to put register failure. If you open an IT ticket, you're going to want to let them know when you call that you have indicated that on your transaction, the last transaction that you voided, because they'll be able to note the time and go back to that. So that's all I have. I hope that helps you. When you're ready to shut down your register at the end of the night, those of you with the legacy system, you do have some additional steps that I cannot show you here, but for those of us with AX, you are going to just simply log off. The shift is over. You get a ticket here. You don't need to do anything with that, but that lets you know that that shift has been suspended. When you come back the next morning, you repeat the process and enjoy your self-checkout.